So we begin at the end. After a wild week in Seoul, there was, I believe, something called soju involved. There were many, many strange and delightful things to eat. Things might have spun slightly out of control.
I took a walk through this beautiful world. Felt the cool rain on my shoulder. Found something good in this beautiful world. I felt the rain getting colder. Sha-la-la-la-la, sha-la-la-la-la-la, sha-la-la-la-la, sha-la-la-la-la-la.
The biggest difference between Korean fried chicken and American fried chicken.
Chicken tonight? I feel so clean. I've never felt so.
Where is my ticket?
Next, I'll be performing a medley from Flavor Town. Don't play this game with who is everybody here. Oh yeah, baby. That's
Yeah,
good.
baby.
Come
Oh,
to
let's
me.
go.
Come to
Yes.
me. Powerful in a sort of small, girly way. Is this drinks that goes with food, or is this food that goes with a triumphant return to Korea?
Woof!
Oh yeah. This should surprise no one that I'm in a happy place right now.
Maybe the best way to tell this story is to start at the end. Like a dog returning to its own vomit, I keep flashing back to, was it last night? The night before. I smell fried chicken on my clothes, so perhaps...
Well, hello, Nari.
We meet again.
Am I glowing with health and pink?
Yes.
Freshly scrubbed?
I was just gonna say that you look like a better version of yourself.
Well,
Why is that?
guys, I've lost about 8 pounds of dead skin.
We're really into the idea. Koreans really like the idea of being the optimal cleanliness, you know? Like, we like to be the most clean possible.
I don't know. You know, I'm okay with soap and water, frankly. And beer.
Yes, of course. All right, so let me see if I can properly pour this for you. Yeah, there you go.
Thank you.
So, tupuri, do you know about tupuri?
No.
Well, so Koreans have many eating traditions. If you have a very big production or you have a very big event that's very, very important, you celebrate that in a proper way.
What are we
And I think
celebrating?
Celebrating the end of, this Korea show. And I think
Oh, I
the
thought
end
you
of
said
last
something
Korea show,
important.
too.
Nari.
This is important. This is the most important thing you've ever done.
Okay. There's nothing involving salt that I don't have to rub that into my skin, my now raw pink skin. I'm a broken man.
I seem beneath the shame and the headache to be missing a few layers of skin, as if I've been rubbed somehow raw. I mean, I believe in clean, really, but this is beyond clean. This is sanded, stripped, flayed.
Here's to Korea.
The beer is not helping. No, maybe it is.
Soju, I think I've had enough. The gleeful embrace of mixing whiskey, rice wine, beer, and oysters, for instance. I mean, it seems to tempt the fates. Ooh.
Ooh.
Yes.
Well, let me ask you one more question. What do you think about Han now after your trip?
I'm brimming with Han. I could never actually have a Han because I'm not Korean, and this is a genetic, almost cellular thing. I understand, but it's something I feel that I could really relate to. I'm definitely a, revenge is a dish best served cold sort of a guy, but also hot. I'll take revenge anytime I can get it, actually. I need some more chicken.
You ate a lot of that chicken. You didn't eat all day, did you?
No, I did not love myself this morning.
But you felt better after your scrub down.
It was like out evil, out. Go away, evil. Finish the evil.
Yeah. I mean, that's why it's like, people do that. Like, when there's a big night out binging, drinking, and then you get
The social contract, the Confucian hierarchy of age before everything fades away. We are no longer Mr. Hawk, Mr. Park, Mr. No, and Mr. Tony. We move as one, a band of bros through the night. The world, our oyster.
I feel like a boy band.
Is it a kid?
Johnny Cash.
Johnny Cash.
All I can say is, thank God there was no karaoke. I must have blocked it out. All roads led here. I knew that. No escape, only embrace. I am now, after an evening of full-on cultural immersion, acutely aware of my role as Big Brother. My new salaryman friends looking to me to set an example.
All right, guys, let's party.
Oh, what do you have? Oh. Soju.
Soju?
Nice to meet you.
So correct me if I'm wrong here. It's dried squid, M&Ms, and mixing your alcohols?
Yeah. Hey, come back.
뭐를 위해서? 아내의 순결을 위해서? 우호호. 내 나이 나 뭔지 알아? 난다 그랬잖아. 난 밤새서 해. 나 걱정하지 마.
Seemed like a good idea. Back at the office.
Okay.
Next, I'll be performing a medley from Mamma Mia.
Oh, baby, like fire. Fire, yes.
Oh, we got a low score. We only got 45.
Mouse?
Mouse fish.
Mouse fish.
What?
I love him more than I can say.
Tony!
Sit down, sit down.
We gotta go somewhere else. We're not finished here, Tony.
Squid treats and M&Ms? Sure, makes perfect sense. In fact, there were oysters somewhere along the route, a detail that becomes increasingly worrying with our alcohol intake.
Oh, oysters, awesome.
Wow.
Nice. Competitive drinking and shellfish.
You ever played any Korean drinking games?
New.
No? Well, they have a lot of them. You know, it keeps the energy up and keeps everyone kind of drinking.
Stop 2. Kolmok Jib.
All right, we're gonna play a little game first. All right, Tony, we're gonna let you do the start the festivities. You just gotta use the chopstick, hit everything forward. It's gonna splash up.
What?
A strike or a push?
A push. Come back.
Hey.
Come back.
Woo!
Sinister.
There's a lot of games. We're not going to go through them all because it would take forever and we'd be really, really drunk. But this game is called the bottle cap game. And we're going to pass this around in a circle. We're going to flick it as hard as you can.
Right.
Right? No one wins or loses. We all get drunk. Start. 1, 2, 3. There you go. Love shot.
That is grotesque.
All right, this is a chopstick game.
Don't play this game with engineers. Oh, don't hurt the man. Oh, it's been hitting those oysters hard. See you in Flavortown.
It's pretty good.
Oh, that's good.
여기서 소기의 목적을 달성했는지 여기서. 그래야만 다음은 넘어갈 수 있어.
네. We gotta go somewhere else.
Yeah, we're
That's the
going.
way-
Let's hit the street, guys.
Well past soju bottle number 9. The idea that only an hour earlier we sat like gentlemen and had barbecue. A rapidly fading memory.
선생님 이거 소주 몇 병 마셔요?
나는 주량 한 병.
한 병?
네. 여기 2병.
두 병? Tony, how many bottles can you drink?
We'll see.
Yes, I remember now. Somewhere near the start of the evening. The moment little brother grabbed the reins of our soon-to-be careening chariot, unfettered by earthly conventions like so-called good sense or inevitable reality of work tomorrow.
All right, eat the egg before it gets cooked too much.
Oh, that's good.
It's good? You like the marinated one, right?
Yeah.
This being Korea, beer is a must, as is apparently soju. I had forgotten that part.
Curious, so, I mean, what seems to define Korea as I know it is it anticipates the future very, very well. This is a country that's famous for looking forward, looking into the future. Where does one go to see Korea's past? And are these guys sentimental about it at all?
지금도 이제 놀랍게 발전을 했는데 대화 시대에서는 100년, 이제 100년.
한국은 자원이 없는 나라예요. 계속 무엇인가 창조하고 개발하고 해야지만 먹고 살 수 있는 나라. 형님을 위해서. 형.
Gonna pour you more alcohol.
Korean cold, 형.
Older brother, yes.
Means older brother. 형. Younger brother, cold 동생.
Younger brother.
Younger brother.
All right, younger brother.
우리 형님을 위하여.
여기까지 서로잖아. 서로.
My mission, for purposes of television, is to ingratiate myself with a group of total strangers, insinuate myself into their lives, observe what they call, and please excuse my painful pronunciation, huishik. It's an expression combining the concepts of company and meal. In Korean business culture, this would be a regular thing. A one-night corporate retreat, if you will. Which is how I ended up at my appointment with the Fates, a barbecue joint popular with the salaryman.
Yeah, who is everybody here?
No, Mr. No.
Okay.
Home. This is the car.
What is your name?
Tony.
Tony.
I think they like me.
여기요. Do you drink soju?
I do. Social.
여기요.
자, 여러분 오늘 미국에서 와주신 우리 잘생기고 멋쟁이 토니와 함께해서 너무너무 기뻤고요. 네. 토니, 우리 시청자들이 토니한테 많은 박수를 해주고 있어요.
This is Anthony Bourdain, CNN. Good night and eat more spam.
자, 여러분 토니와 함께 굿바이.
Notice the totally blissed out, happy
1,
look
2,
on my face. Observe the bowl with nothing left but fiery remnants. Behold the magnificence that is budae-jjigae.
만들었으니까 이제 밥 먹어요. 손이 아주 먹고 오래오래 잘 살아요.
Oh, okay. That's enough. That's good.
떡도 먹고,
Oh,
와우.
jeez.
김치도 먹고,
Oh, man.
손이 건강에 좋은
Yeah, it's
양파도
gonna-
먹고.
Oh, it's gonna go straight to my
나
hips.
이거 다 먹어야 돼. 아니면 지금 못 가요? No house, go no house. Finish. Yes?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
It's a magical dish.
와우. 오늘 햄을 너무 무식하게 썰었어. 뭐야 이게? 근데 맛있으니까 용서할게요.
So, most people are not sentimental about their time in the military. Why do this?
제 방송을 이렇게 봐주시는 시청자분들한테 뭔가 이렇게 공감대라든지 그리고 뭔가 이제 옛날의 추억거리를 다시 회상을 시켜줄 수 있게끔.
I mean, military, everybody serves in the military, right?
Yeah, it's mandatory in Korea.
All right, well,
와우, 토니 완전 피니시. 해피?
very happy.
와우, 굿. 제가 이거 요리하는 거 알려줄까요, 토니?
You want the recipe about this?
I got the recipe now.
It's everything Mama warned you about. And it's got it all, baby. And when the music's over, your life will have changed forever.
1, 2, 3. 자, 일단은 먼저 이거 스팸을
Okay.
오케이. 요거 떡, 요거 말랑말랑한 떡도 이렇게.
He's okay.
오케이. 김치. 토니 이거 프랑클 미트.
Yes.
오케이.
Yeah.
Dating back to famine years of the Korean War, scrounging and scavenging from American military bases, it's in fact a classic example of necessity being the mother of deliciousness.
뷰티풀.
Hot dogs, canned baked beans, spam, instant noodles. Put together with the ever-present gochujang and kimchi, it became an enduring and deeply loved classic.
콩, 베이키드 빈스.
Like I used to say to my first girlfriend, how can something so wrong be so right?
오케이, 1, 2. 한 번 더. 아, 토니 참 잘해요.
All right. So you did that right.
너무 잘해요. 자, 오케이.
Don't jib here. No.
토니 그리고 요거를 이렇게 뜯어서 오케이. Oh no. No. 와우. No. 토니 미워. 토니 너무해.
I'll tell you.
토니 자기 집 아니라고 막 해. 이러는 거 아니야? 진짜 너무너무해. 이게 뭐야 이게 마우스 이게 뭐야 이게. 진짜 너무해.
Sorry about that.
와우.
Yeah, sorry, man.
요거 이렇게 이만하는데 지금 이만큼 남았어요.
Regrettable incident.
오케이, 요것만 넣도록 할게요. 이거를 푹 끓일 건데
Looks healthy. Look at this. I mean, look at this thing. Look at the color alone. It's just.
토니 이제 라면
Oh,
사를
in go
넣어서
the noodles.
오케이, 우리 이제 먹을 준비를 할 거예요. 토니, 라면. 와우.
Oh yeah, baby. That's
Yeah,
good.
baby.
Come
Let's
to me.
go.
Come
Yes.
to me.
굿.
Come to me, my love.
예스. 토니 너무 맛있게 먹어요. 성과가 좋다는 거네요.
Need a little spam in there.
굿.
Good job, chef.
굿 잡.
Thank you,
Yes.
chef.
Yes. Yes. Thank you.
My pleasure. Anytime.
Anytime.
In a society reeling from conflict and deprivation, largely without meat or fresh ingredients, this was the gift of the GI. The Korean War lasted from 1950 to 1953, but in many ways it never ended. The country is split in half and in a constant state of alert. 120 miles to the north, a bughouse-crazy dictator with an enormous standing army, a bad haircut, and a nuclear arsenal. This we know. But the war, in dividing a country and a culture, also divided families, altered forever the Korean character. Chef King Biryong's early experience working the mess hall during his mandatory military service led directly to superstardom. Now, from this unassuming U.S. Army surplus tent, he beams his cooking show live into more than 50,000 homes a day via something called the internet. And he's not the only one. There's competition, lots of it. Mukbang means broadcast eating. It's kind of a phenomenon in Korea. Which is how, I suppose, I wound up in a tent on the outskirts of Seoul.
토니, hello.
Hi, how you doing? All right.
토니, 여기.
Yeah, right here? All right.
Okay.
Classic indigenous ingredients.
No. Spam.
Oh,
Okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah.
Yes.
Excellent. All right.
다 죽여, 다 죽여. 다 죽여버려.
It's a slaughter fest. I've gotten the poor thing killed like 12 times already today, so I think I'm gonna hang it up. All right, I'm ready for some food.
In Korea, it's like the food delivery system is really good.
Really good.
A whole bunch of food you can just order. Dr. Pepper, get
you
away.
order food while you're playing.
PC Bong sounds like a male porn star. I know. But this one has a smoking lounge and a well-stocked snack bar. Energy drinks seem a popular order. But here in Seoul, given that there's an entire strata of professional gamers, more substantial food is from time to time required. No problem. Anything you want, right to your console.
I mean, I'm sure this is an obvious question, but like real life, does it have any attraction?
Real life,
Real life, you know, like non-game universe.
people love it. As a professional gamers, yeah, people love the professional gamers. They get a lot of fame for that.
Right. Thank you. Oh, man.
Wow.
Oh, man, this is too much. Oh, that'll have.
You gotta get the sauce with the noodle, so.
Yep.
It's a black noodle, so it should be all black.
Tasty.
Good?
That'll work.
And some of the games you could play without like still eating.
Yeah. Really one-handed.
Basically, you eat a little bit and then
come
play
back.
the game.
Yeah.
And eat a little bit and play the game.
Only game that I've ever really gotten serious about and lived with for a year. I mean, I spent a lot of time with it. Was GTA Vice City.
Oh, I mean, for my opinion, it's a little bit violent for me. That's my personal opinion.
Look, I mean, you know, Little Red Riding Hood was doing a lot of bleeding out in this
Yeah.
game. I mean,
That's true.
Over the mountain and through the woods, to grandmother's house we go, blowing some
The right
shit up
click?
on the way. And was it right shift,
Yeah.
left mouse click, or the other way around?
잡음.
That's our enemy.
well, okay. But I'm looking for the little guys with the red over them.
Yeah.
Oh, that doesn't look good.
Yeah, you got killed too because
Oh, jeez. Oh, I'm respawning.
yeah, respawning. You could target. You could basically go like long distance or short distance depending on like, where your target is.
Just learn how to move here. Oh, poor Little Red Riding Hood.
Right.
She's not good.
어딨어? 암살해줄게.
And
Use this
if I'm shooting something, it's E. Oh, no, not Little Red Riding Hood. You're bleeding out again. Oops, didn't make it. I don't see any bad guys. Are these friends? Oops.
Back in the old days, before time itself, spending 17 hours a day at places like this was frowned upon by family. Now, gaming has become a respected and often lucrative profession in Korea. Simon has pretty much retired from gaming per se. Instead, he makes a living advising rising stars in the industry.
You do this for a living.
Yeah.
How many hours a day?
For the professional gamers, they spend all day playing this game. They wake up, they play a game, practice, have lunch, practice again, and then have dinner, and go to sleep.
Today, the game is one of those multiplayer kill fests where mighty avatars boast a wide range of powerful abilities, raining death on each other from remote consoles across the globe, or just over there.
There we go. It's all about love.
Really cute. Little girl.
Oh, that's me?
Yeah.
Oh, geez. Do I have to choose another avatar, maybe? Something more killy? I don't know if I'm going to strike fear into my enemies.
Oh yeah, it's very powerful, yeah.
Powerful in a sort of small, girly way.
It's a very amazing where, get shocked. I mean, the little girl comes around like having a big fireball in your head.
Right. Okay, well, I'll try to keep up with you for a few minutes.
So basically, press W for forward, and then press right and left click together. And then the right key on our mouse. Is
Okay,
another...
forward is W.
Uh-huh.
And
these are the skills. E, shift, and left together.
Left, shift.
And then left, no, together. Oh yeah. And then space, right click, left shift with left click together.
Oh, brutal. How long did it take you to even figure out how to move around in this world?
About 10 minutes.
10 minutes, yeah.
Okay, me and Simon are going up against these kids, and I'm expecting to pistol whip some bitches like Tommy Vercetti, unless time has once again passed me by. The life of a professional video gamer is a concept that's not easy for me to grasp. These young nerdlingers are famous. They have TV shows where they compete and are making actual cash money. They have sponsors and super fans. They probably even get laid off this shit. And that explains how Little Red Riding Hood ended up bleeding out on the cold, hard virtual floor.
Should we start? Yeah. Should we start the game? Sure.
Okay, where's our opponents?
Oops.
I'm gonna fire your ass.
No, don't say anything about Wayne Newton. He's the man.
Hip hop, like early 90s West Coast.
Well, I'm an East Coast guy.
Yeah, I know. I'm not entirely convinced that Korean food's healthy.
Have you always been like a food guy?
I think in some ways I've appropriated the Han. I'm very happy here.
Last one.
Yeah. Is this drinks that goes with food, or is this food that goes with drinks?
The culture here is you have to have something that goes well with that drink.
We should probably be drinking that, right?
Yes. Have you tried soju before?
Oh, yeah. How often can you come to a place like this acceptably per week? I mean, you come every day after work?
If you want.
Yeah, like if I just slump to the ground and go to sleep, would that be okay?
It wouldn't be, but I've seen it too many times.
What's good to eat here?
Well, I'd like to recommend the soup of death. It's a soup, but the main ingredient in that is silkworms.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Oh.
Nice, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Eating bugs? That is so last network.
How do you like the soup?
Soup's awesome. I'm gonna go home and have many sons tonight. No?
In the old days, they didn't have the soup. They just
Right.
literally boiled it. They put it in these little paper cups and you just eat it like an hors d'oeuvre.
I don't know. I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, get the f out of my soup and make me a sweater.
Even Koreans really don't eat this all the time. But I guess this country makes you feel like if you can't eat this, then you're not Korean kind of thing.
Where were you born?
I was born in New York.
You were born in New York?
Yes.
And were there till?
Till roughly 21. I grew up on the streets, grew up in New York City. It was automatically, you're a chink. Wait a minute, chink isn't that supposed to be Chinese? I'm Korean. And that's where the whole #1 Korean comes from. Hey, I'm Korean and I'm proud to be Korean.
Mark is what's called kyopo, meaning Korean who's lived abroad. As things get better and brighter over here, more and more people are, like Mark, moving back home for the ever more numerous opportunities.
When I came here, it just felt right for me. I was like, I'm here. These are my people. It's like, this is what I've been missing. but I was considered not really Korean, I guess. You know, I was considered an outsider in my own country. I had like this thing going on because I was like, okay, am I not Korean enough if I don't do this, or if I don't drink this, or if I don't eat this? But there's a certain sense of, well, I wanna learn this, if that makes me feel more Korean.
Nice. That's pork skin. Is this so hard? Walk in and eat delicious food and get hammered in the street? Being Korean is pretty awesome.
Last one.
Yeah.
Nighttime in Seoul, and everywhere you go, it seems, food and drink. This is what they call a pojangmatcha. I guess it's kind of like a pub, if pubs could operate in the street. You could have drinks, and well, I guess you could call it pub food.
안녕하세요, DJ Shanda. We're about to go eat something really, really good. Welcome to Seoul. Let's do this.
My new friend Mark helped popularize Western-style hip-hop in Korea. An event that led directly to me eating silkworms in a tent.
Mark, how you doing?
Nice to meet you.
Good to meet you.
Thanks for having me on.
Oh, man. So, where are we?
이모.
And position correct?
Ready?
Are you complaining about your hours, Nari?
Holla.
#1 selling liquor in the whole world. You have to kick the prostitutes so many times.
That doesn't count.
Get in my mouth and stay there.
She's already dead.
Come on. I'm getting this like weird sense of deja vu. Like haven't we been at a fish market in Seoul
Walk
at
down
some
memory
point in
lane.
some previous life
What should we toast to this time?
to a triumphant return to Korea? Second time around for me.
건배.
Bet.
There's something I'm increasingly crazy about that I've been craving since I got off the plane. Banchan, the spicy, pickly, delicious snackies that accompany your meal in Korea.
I missed this. This is, for me, one of the most exciting things about Korean food, actually, is the banchan. Yeah.
Doesn't that just make you want to drink more soju?
Is that a hint or something?
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah, right.
I know, the formality of it all.
And appetizers? Yes, I remember these guys.
Oh, our old friend. Again.
This looks familiar.
Bringing back memories. Oh, here we go.
네. So this is called 매운탕, which literally translates to spicy stew.
I need it to burn.
And it has everything under the sun, seafood-wise. You can find crab, you can find all different kinds of fish.
Fisherman stews all over the world.
Exactly. This bowl, for me, that's the perfect example of Koreans in general. We love being together in a space, huddled around a bubbling pot of something.
What can I tell you? Well, this is good. You are failing in your duties as a younger sister.
I'm sorry. 건배?
We don't have to drink it immediately, do we? Face planting and thing.
Koreans, they just want each other to drink as much as possible. Peer pressure drinking
Right.
is kind of a big deal. May I have another glass, please?
Korean Drinking Etiquette 101. You never pour your own drink. Younger pours for the older, and you never drink alone.
How come all the Korean guys are so tormented? They're all carrying around some unseen weight.
Every single Korean person is born with this thing called han, which is a deep sorrow and anger. It's nothing to do with upbringing. I mean,
Right.
literally,
It's genetic.
as you're born, yeah, it's genetic. It's in our blood.
Han, my favorite Korean word. It has many implied and specific meanings, but generally speaking, it's a mixture of endurance, yearning, sorrow, regret, bitterness, spite, hatred, and a grim determination to bide your time until revenge can at last be exacted.
I know. Revenge is a very, very sweet tasting thing for Koreans, you know? Because there's been so much wrong that's
Right.
happened to us.
What about little Timmy McMasters, who made fun of you in second grade for bringing kimchi to school. And he laughed at you and said it smelled like garbage. Is there vengeance coming their way?
My greatest vengeance would be that those people think about that time that they made fun of me. I want them to actually love Korean food now.
That doesn't sound anywhere close to endless suffering.
Well, that's my personal story.
I was thinking more along the lines of like electric nipple clamps, and then I drive over them. And not killing them, by the way. They slowly bled to death from femoral artery wounds.
The reason that Koreans are able to just not wallow in that is because of this other emotion called jeong. It is a deep fondness that you have for your other Koreans. And people always focus on Han, and I'm like, yeah, I know, Han, yes, it exists. No one's denying that. We all have it. But jeong, no one talks about that, and it's equally strong.
Okay. I believe you.
I don't think you believe me about this jeong thing.
No, I believe you. Like, I like the whole idea of Han. I totally get that as an engine. I like that. I like that dark side. The fact that this word exists is sort of awesome because a negative emotion has been converted into a number of very, very, very positive developments.
The Koreans are, you know, this amazing group of people that don't curse and eat amazing food, and we like to drink and have fun.
Oh, stop sucking up. So, to the Han.
We need to make a serious dent in this.
Dongjin.
Can't say that. We're unique and we're amazing.
That describes me. I'm not drinking this.
No, you don't have to drink it.
My relentlessly cheerful friend and colleague, Nari. She loves Korea and all things Korean and wants nothing more than to make everybody love it as much as she does. That's why she brought me here, to the Garak Fish Market, where you find the kind of casual joints I love. I will have, let me see, perhaps the fish.
I want some banchan, I want some spicy stuff. Well, I'll start off by drinking some soju, I think.
Yes.
Look, I'm getting this like weird sense of deja vu. Like, haven't we been at a fish market in Seoul
Walk
at
down
some
memory
point
lane.
in some previous life?
The past, the present, the future. In Korea, they all bleed together. If you're there for the whole ride, one explains the other. Drop in the middle, it makes no sense at all. Korean culture, as far as I can tell, is defined by the drive to succeed. A churning engine fueled by decades of Han. A remarkable ability and remarkable willingness to anticipate the future. It reaches back across time, binding millennials and generations long since past. Last time I was here, I was working for some other network, the Bacon Channel or the Competitive Eating Channel. What was that old show called? It was so long ago. Back then, I was dragged around in Nari Kai's tiny but powerful wake, as I recall. That was nearly a decade ago. Things have changed since then. I've changed. I'm guessing Nari's changed. And Korea has certainly changed. The Korean War ended more than half a century ago, but in some ways, it's still going. The North and South have been on perpetual war footing ever since. It's a psychological and physical scar. Korea is literally split in half. But that's not what this show is about. There aren't many comparisons to South Korea's stratospheric rise over the last decade. One of the poorest countries as recently as the 60s, today it claims one of the world's fastest growing economies. The government has been extremely shrewd and forward-thinking about selling the world all things Korean. Underwriting, encouraging, financing, and supporting the export of intangibles. Things like music, movies, TV shows, food, the whole Korean sensibility. And the world is responding, learning to love what Koreans have always loved. The heart of Korea is Seoul, capital city, a bustling metropolis. futuristic in look and character, population 25 million.
Look at that, they've got a selfie stick. Everybody's taking pictures of their food. They feel right at home.
In October 2014, I went back to Korea. This is what I saw.
This makes me so happy. Good kimchi. Make room for the noodles. Oh, that's good. This should surprise no one that I'm in a happy place right now. Oh, yeah. First night back, right to the market. Bunch of unrecognizable but invariably and inevitably delicious food. Good to be back, man. Good to be back.
Miami sneaks up on you. Or do we change and find ourselves sneaking up, washing up, ending up in Miami?
I took a walk through this beautiful world. Felt the cool rain on my shoulder. Found something good in this beautiful world. I felt the rain getting colder. Sha-la-la-la-la, sha-la-la-la-la-la.
Miami. It's a big place. Bigger and more multifaceted than it's given credit for.
Miami, where you are?
We tend over the years to focus on Miami's, how shall I put this, party zone.
Party don't stop, 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 stop.
It's the kind of place you say, that could never be me. And then it is. It's a temptation that's almost irresistible. The seductions of flash, of palm trees, balmy nights, deco architecture, the manufactured dreams of many television shows made real. But across the causeway, a few miles down the way, there are other worlds, older ones. I think it's safe to say, better ones. Way out west, 20 miles from the airport, tucked in yet another strip mall, is Islas Canarias. And you go there because, well, you need coffee. And because Cuba, respect. And because Michelle Bernstein is there.
Is this Miami? It was a long time getting here.
You need a car in Miami. And yes, this is like the heart of Miami.
Michelle is one of Miami's most iconic, influential chefs, born and bred here.
So when people say, where did you grow up? What do you say, out?
Miami.
Where in Miami?
This is way out west.
Okay.
I mean, you can't get much further west than this.
What's beyond here?
Swampland.
Oh,
not
awesome.
much.
Body disposal.
Yeah, well, you can say that. I can't. This restaurant, we would actually come here for the seafood, and it would be elegant.
Well, you'd have the waiters in the little bolero jacket type things, right?
Usually a bow tie. Yeah, and there are still some Cuban places in Miami that still have that.
This is how you drink coffee in Miami.
The real places give you the milk first and then the coffee.
Now, what are they called again? Those tiny little chiclets? That's coladas.
A colada is a big cup with little cups.
It's basically like the coffee version, the caffeine version of a one-hitter. I mean, you basically, so I'd have one of those, and then at the next place I'd have another, and I basically, get increasingly jangly as I head towards work or whatever my final destination
I
is.
grew up on the colada. At 4, I had my first, I think, colada. We all give our babies coffee. They put their finger in it to taste it, and they all grew up loving coffee.
That's good. So this is a non-judgmental land, Miami.
You know what? It is. You can pretty much get away with almost anything.
It's good coffee.
I'm so glad you like it. A lot of people don't like it.
Really?
Well, because they think it's too sweet.
And many of you watching who are dimly aware of Miami and this sandwich thing they call a Cubano that you may or may not have had before, you're thinking, yes, a Cubano sandwich. But you'd be wrong. This is not a Cubano sandwich, strictly speaking. This, my friends, is a medianoche. Close, a cousin. Like a Cubano, it's got roast pork, ham, Swiss cheese, pickles, and a little mustard. And like a Cubano, it's pressed until hot and runny inside, but...
You see the bread, it's darker and it's sweeter.
Right.
So you have a real contrast with the salty pickles and the pork and the bread. You see how juicy that is? That's the telling of a good Cuban sandwich.
You know what pisses me off when people try to improve on this?
A lot of people try to improve on it. You can't fancify a Cuban sandwich, I'm sorry. How is it? Is it yummy?
It's good. A lot of thought is given to the structure of the sandwich.
It's all about the layers and
Yeah.
how much of everything.
Yeah. So for you, this is the perfect breakfast, right?
Good, right? Yeah. And I always go for the salty, never the sweet.
I don't care about sweet things. If I had to give up one course of the meal, dessert in a hot second.
Oh, of course.
Like cheese over dessert any day.
Oh, yeah. Actually, I would rather a steak over dessert, but maybe that's because my mother's from Argentina. I don't know.
This is my world away from the world. To me, it's my little king's domain.
There's one place I keep coming back to. It's a place where if you look deep enough, ask the right questions, you can get a whole history of Miami from one man. This man, Matt Klein.
You're going to have to remember you're speaking to a 100-year-old man.
I know, you look good.
Raise your voice a little bit.
You look good. If I look that good when I'm 60, I'll be happy.
You know the amazing thing about being 100 is? A year ago, I was 99. Nobody paid attention to me. Didn't care. I became 100, my God.
Matt Klein, the owner, proprietor, and regular bartender at Mac's Club Deuce, turned 100 years old this year. Yes, 100. He's still here. The cigarette smoke and dark, dank atmosphere, clearly good for a guy who's seen it all.
That's 73 years ago, Fort Benning, Georgia. I was in the 2nd Armored Division.
Matt came to Miami in 1945 from New York's Lower East Side by way of the Battle of Normandy.
I came here because I was wounded. The warm weather was much better for me.
Well, there were a lot of GIs here during the war, right?
The war made Miami Beach for the simple reason that people were stationed here and all of a sudden they saw a world that they didn't believe.
During World War II, Miami saw a massive influx of military personnel. Hotels which had seen a sharp drop in business made a deal with the government to house troops at the empty resorts.
They told their parents about it. Their parents came down, sons came down. They opened businesses here, and it was basically Jewish at the time. And that's how it started.
By the fall of 1942, more than 78,000 troops were living in 300 hotels in Miami and Miami Beach.
How long have you been running the Deuce?
I took over in 1964. Half my life I spent here. Miami Beach has turned over at least 6 times since I've been here. All that neon is Miami Vice.
Right.
They put it in here.
Yeah.
This was their favorite bar.
Yeah, but it makes sense, too. Come on.
Well, it was very flattering. The same as how flattering it is to have you here.
I love this place. I mean, I love it. It's my favorite bar in Miami. To many more.
The dreamers, the visionaries, crooks, and con men who built Miami envisioned many different kinds of paradise. A new Jerusalem in the seemingly infinitely expanding real estate. Just fill in where there's water, and you've got property. Or as in Coral Gables, build a new Venice, complete with Italo-Moorish Hollywood fantasy architecture and grand canals, gondolas to ferry the new seekers to their palazzos in the sun. The dream was as expandable as the space. Where there was water, there was now, magically, terra sort of firma. And in the 80s, where there was decline, a vacuum, suddenly there was a new and vibrant economy. One that raised all boats, filled Miami with new buildings, shiny cars, swanky nightclubs, floods of cash, and a new reputation for murder and criminality to go with it. Cocaine. Say what you will, cocaine altered the skyline of Miami forever. It made, for better or worse, Miami sexy again.
Going back to the very beginning, was Miami always a criminal enterprise? But I mean that in a good way. Outlaw culture is a very deep part of American culture.
But Carl Hyacin says, in Florida, we don't produce or manufacture anything but oranges and handguns. There is no indigenous industry. We sell sunshine. We sell you a dream. The only jobs we have are in hospitality, in restaurants, and
real
hotels,
estate.
and real estate. It's all to sell the dream to the next people.
In 1981, the FBI called Miami the most violent city in America. The drug industry brought in an estimated $7 to $12 billion a year, and that's of 1981 money. That is a lot of trickle-down. One of the most successful documentaries in the history of film is Cocaine Cowboys, which tells that story. A film made by these guys, Alfred Spellman and Billy Corbin.
So things were in decline. Cocaine sort of saved the city.
Well, we'd say so. Are you gonna get in trouble? Are you gonna get in trouble for it? But yes. But by 1981, you had a murder rate. You had 635 homicides here. 25% of those bodies had automatic weapons bullets in them.
Right.
We talk about the uncomfortable reality of where a lot of modern Miami came from over something you just have to hit hard when in Miami in season. Stone crabs.
Federal Reserve branch in Miami had a $5 billion cash surplus, at mostly 50s and $100 bills, all of which had trace elements of cocaine on them. And the guys who were in cocaine trafficking in the 70s and 80s who got busted and went to prison got out and are now big Medicare fraudsters. Right. He's whispering because they're probably here somewhere.
So where's the money now? How's business in general in Miami, and where's that business coming from?
Well, remarkably, the rebound from the Great Recession, I mean, people thought it would take almost a decade for all the condo inventory to get absorbed, and it seemed to happen almost overnight. By 2010, 2011, things had turned around here. We're in the middle of another huge boom. So who's buying? It's wealthy foreigners, a lot of flight capital from overseas, from Latin, South America, Russians.
Russians? If it's money looted from another country, do we care? Trickle down, boys, trickle down.
It has propped up Miami once again with another inflated bubble, and the question is, how long will it last?
There's history, and there's the more immediate needs of the present. I need food presently, and perhaps some fine bourbon. And when I need good food in a city not my own, more and more these days I call somebody who, if they weren't good at enough things already, has become something of an expert on good food around the world.
Every time I check Instagram, you're eating with one of my culinary heroes. You've eaten at Jiro.
Yes, you inspired that.
Also, he seems to like you a lot better than me.
Amir Khalib Thompson, known to most as Questlove.
You've been to this place before.
I live at this place.
Really?
Yes.
Yardbird quickly became a Miami favorite, serving over-the-top Southern classics to well-heeled bon vivants like, well, us.
The old joke was that James Brown was the hardest working man in show business. You make him look lazy. Let's review, okay? Band leader, producer, teacher.
Yeah.
Oh, DJ.
Yeah, and we're counting. Technically I have 16 jobs right now.
Deviled eggs with fresh dill and trout roe will be so over next year, but right now, I want like 10 more. Delicious. Fried green tomatoes with pork belly. This is the perfect thing for a guy who's looking to squeeze into a size 28 Speedo tomorrow and hit the beach.
Yeah, how often are you in Miami?
3 to 5 times a year.
What makes the Miami sound different than the Detroit sound, the Philadelphia sound, the New York sound, whatever, right?
You know what? Like, you can't say something specific like, well, Philadelphia had orchestral strings in their arrangements, whereas, Stax Records had organ in theirs. But I do consider the sound of Miami to be the beginning of really great dance music.
What's called 77 Elvis pancakes? Chocolate chip pancakes, bourbon maple syrup, banana compote, and peanut butter. Even if you're not the king, you'll want to die on the toilet like he did after this carbo load.
And we're really doing the Elvis experience right. I should be eating a fistful of Percodan with that,
Just
right?
a little.
Yardbird's signature fried chicken comes with chilled spiced watermelon and cheddar cheese waffles. Here they brine the chicken for a day, 27 hours to be exact, in a spicy bath that includes cayenne and black pepper, garlic, and onion. Tender inside and perfectly crispy on the outside.
To me, I like waffles and I like chicken, but I don't understand waffles and chicken together.
You still don't understand?
No, I mean, look, I understand people deeply love them. And I do like waffles, and I do love fried chicken. I just put them on separate plates, and I'm okay.
You don't want your food integrated?
Shrimp and grits, a Southern classic made with Florida shrimp, Virginia ham, and South Carolina stone ground grits.
the other subject. I was reading your book. Is it Curtis Mayfield you have bad associations with?
Whenever I hear Curtis Mayfield, Brady's dead.
Right.
Just as a kid, that particular chord structure always frightened me.
Aqualung, Jethro Tull. I whipped into a murderous rage right away.
Even now?
Even now. I'm angry that that band ever existed. I hate that whole English-y, old, bard, minstrelly, stand on one leg, mother. Hate that shit, you know. Yeah, I mean, you never know when you play people music, you know, were they molested by a rodeo clown to that song?
Right,
you know?
exactly.
And Jethro Tull is my version of that.
Who got here first? Who, other than, say, some early Native American tribes and Spaniards? Caribbean blacks, most of whom were Bahamian. Bahamians figured heavily in the early development of South Florida, which began in earnest with the construction of railroads in the late 19th and early 20th centuries by this guy, Henry Morrison Flagler, the industrialist and tycoon largely credited with being the father of modern Florida. Flagler's dream was the Florida East Coast Railway, which would run from Jacksonville to Key West, connecting the ports of Miami to the rail system of the rest of the United States, creating along its route new towns, new cities, new Edens, where America's rising middle class could frolic and play. He also agreed to lay the foundation for a city on both sides of the Miami River. As more and more whites moved in, segregation took hold, and much of the Bahamian community was forced into black neighborhoods like Overtown and Liberty City. So if you're looking for old Miami, original Miami, you're looking to a great extent for black Miami. These days, Liberty City is mostly ignored by developers. But back in the day, it was the epicenter of the black community. A lot has happened since then.
Corned beef, 2 pieces of pancake, smoked sausage. Well, you need whale eggs and egg and cheese.
What do you usually
Oh, man, the ball fish and grits. See, that's a Bahamian dish.
Your parents were Jamaican and Bahamian?
Yes, my mother was Bahamian, my dad was Jamaican.
Today I'm having fish and grits at MLK Restaurant with this guy, Luther Campbell.
A lot of good cooking tradition in the family.
Oh, yeah, one night we had rice and peas, the other night we had peas and rice.
Also known as Uncle Luke, or perhaps Luke Skywalker at various times. Luther is something of a musical, political, and legal legend, credited with pioneering what would be called Miami bass. Maybe you know him from such hits as Two Live Crew's Me So Horny and Do Wah Diddy, or the groundbreaking Fair Use Supreme Court case, Campbell versus Acuff Rose Music.
How do you end up different growing up in Miami than you would have grown up in LA or New York?
People would say, oh, y'all Southern people, y'all South, y'all Bama, or whatever they want to call us. But in all actuality, we're an island town. I mean, Miami was made up of Bahamians that really built the city of Miami. So now you have a lot of different cultures.
Caribbean, South American.
Yeah. Very diverse.
Very different.
Yeah.
How is that mix? How's that impacted the music?
Oh, it's everything in the music. It's everything. I mean, when people think about me, they always say, oh, this guy made this booty shaking music. You know, everybody is dancing. Everybody's dancing in a sexual way. You know, Jamaicans, they'll whine. You know, the girls will stand up on you, and I'm pretty sure you know about that. When the girls stand up on you and they put their butt on you and start whining, you know?
I've seen this on television.
It's no different than a lap dance.
Yeah. Among your other accomplishments, you ran for office.
Yeah.
About 70% residents of Miami speak Spanish at home. Enormous African-American, Afro-Caribbean community. How come the state keeps electing conservative white guys?
Conservative white guys, they'll pay their popular pastors, don't say nothing, don't energize your people. So you have a whole quiet community. You didn't get them excited about voting.
It's the opposite of the Get Out the Vote program. It's a don't bother to vote.
It's don't bother to vote. Take the governor's election. You know, African Americans voted at 20%. If we would have voted at 50%, Charlie Crist would have won the governor's race.
Right. You were selling Miami to somebody. What's the best thing about Miami?
Best weather.
Yeah. How do you handle the cold if you have to tour or something and you got to spend a week or 2 weeks in New York or Detroit or Chicago? I mean,
my mindset is I don't have to deal with this every day. I'm going back to sunshine. So when I got that on my mind, you know, I can go into any city. I can go into a blizzard. No, I know I'm going out. Y'all staying.
It's really good.
Back inland, another world of flavors. Little Haiti, just in case Miami didn't have enough tasty stuff from elsewhere. The B&M Market is a grocery store with a 4-seat cafe of sorts tucked away in the back. And they serve some of the dishes that make me happiest. Jerk chicken, who doesn't love that? Curried goat, roti, and this cow foot soup. The real deal, too. Flavors and textures, some next level stuff.
That looks, by the way, unbelievable. Look at that, just...
That jelly.
Oh, that's so good. What's the best thing about Miami?
The mix of cultures that we've got.
What's the worst thing?
You know what really pisses me off? I walk on the street and I say hi to people because that's kind of like how I am.
Right.
And I don't get a hi back a lot here.
To what do you attribute this?
The transient part of it. People don't feel rooted. They're all from South America, Central America. Their whole plan is to come here, do what they can to send their family money to buy the homes of their dreams, and then go back and live in them, which is great. I would probably do the same thing.
If I were to think about coming to Florida to live, what would seem attractive to me, and I mean this absolutely, find some place on the beach and descend into, you know, my liver-spotted, crocodile-skinned, you know, late-era George Hamilton phase and, you know, walk up and down with my metal detector with, you know, shorts up to here. I mean, that would be me. But what I find, people who go to live that dream, after a few years, they don't go to the beach.
Ask me when the last time I went to the beach was.
When is the last time you went to the beach?
About 1.5 years ago.
What the is up with that?
We're working.
If you weren't working, do you think you'd be at the beach more often?
My dream is to have a house on the beach. I don't know why, I never go. But I love it. And I always say, I will never live in South Florida if I didn't live near water. And I live near water. And I do leave my doors open a lot. And I get the breeze, but I don't go to the beach. I barely even go in my swimming pool. But I know it's there.
Okay.
Standing here in the rain, trying to wash away my sins. Baby's gone and left me. I don't think she's coming back.
Before Miami bass, before the Miami sound machine, there was a Miami sound. The music, the original Miami sound we're talking about, came from this man, Willie Clark, and this place.
What was this space originally?
Well, this side was a little restaurant, smaller than this, and we were on the other side with the record shop.
Now it looks like a nondescript barbecue joint, but back in 1963, it was the home of Deep City Records. Willie Clark and his business partner Johnny Pearsall started Deep City, recording and promoting local talent out of Johnny's record shop. The label became a showcase for artists like Betty Wright and Helene Smith, Frank Williams and the Rocketeers, Johnny Killens and the Dynamites.
Everything that you've ever been credited for either producing or writing it, is a very, very long list and an amazing list.
It's about 1,200.
1,200 songs.
It just flows, and I'm like what you might call a song mechanic. You bring it to me, I'll help you fix it.
Willie and his writing partner, Clarence Blowfly Reed, wrote such classics as Clean Up Woman, Rockin' Chair, and Willie and Abel. Deep City was Miami's answer to Motown, a unique sound.
In 50 years, 100 years from now, if you're to do an internet search and you punch in the Miami sound, your name is going to come up right away as principal creator of the Miami sound. What were the distinctive features of the music you were making that separated it from Motown, Philadelphia, New York?
The culture was a mixture of Bahamian, Jamaican, and then some people who have come down from Georgia and Alabama. But that Bahamian influence was dominant.
Right.
We would have bands like the Junkanoo Band, and they would march from Overtown all the way to Liberty City and back, and with big parades. And so this influence of the dancing and the moving and the marching, I would say that was the main difference.
And you were teaching school during a lot of this period,
I was teaching school. I would walk in the front door of the school, look around, put my sign in, and walk out of the back door. And go straight to the studio. But you know, the principal knew what I was doing.
Yeah.
I did most of the Deep City music using that technique.
If only I could fly, I would take to the air.
And you're still out there, so your songs are still being played,
Yeah,
still being sampled.
Yeah.
Which is good, right? I mean,
that's great. If it weren't for the samples, I don't know what I would do. The part of the record industry that kept us alive was Europe.
The collectors must go crazy. The maniac collectors in Europe and Japan.
If I had known back then, if Johnny and I had known how hot we were there, I guess we would still be over there on biggest Motown or bigger.
This is an island, isn't it? I mean, really, it is kind of an
I
island.
think it's worse than the island.
Darling, I'm willing to forget about our past. Darling, I'm able to make our love last. I'm a one-man's woman, and I'm willing and able to be loved. Oh, yes, I am, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Another day, another country. Miami's like that. You could eat your way across the Caribbean and through all of Latin America. And then over to Africa, if you like. It's all there. Pepito's Plaza is Venezuelan. And if you know anything about me, you know I love few things more than big, new, unusual, comes from somewhere else, mutant versions of the giant hamburger. And this one is something special.
Okay, so this is the deal. This is all Venezuelan, which means everything's kind of protein on protein on protein, and it's all about a lot of sauces. All right, so we're gonna do the doralzuela. Absolutely, right? Okay.
What is this neighborhood?
Some people call it Doral, some people call it doralzuela, which is petite Venezuela. And yeah, you're way west. And you'll pretty much hear everybody speaking Spanish. There's almost no English spoken.
Most people in Miami speak Spanish at home.
Absolutely.
A lot, over half.
Yeah, even if they're not Latin.
Right.
Because you can't really get a job if you're in the service industry, especially. You have to speak Spanish.
Meat on meat is something of a Venezuelan specialty, and this one has got what? A beef patty, ham, egg, 6 varieties of sauces, crispy matchstick potatoes, and cheese. It's big. Big, I tells you. You gotta demolish it in stages like you're imploding a casino or like a hyena grabbing an antelope on the hoof. You try and tunnel through the soft parts first.
This is a sort of an engineering challenge.
A larger mouth, possibly?
I mean, I'm gonna start crying. Look, you get that thing. All right, I'm going in. Good God.
Yes or no?
It's delicious, but
It's a little much, right?
there's no way this thing is holding together to the last bite.
All right, I can't even get the whole thing. Oh, ridiculous.
This is open till 4 a.m., so there's definitely a time of day when that seems like a perfectly reasonable idea.
If you drink too much, this will pretty much take care of everything that ever ailed you.
Long a refuge for people from all over the Caribbean basin and Latin America, Miami was also an inviting place for Americans who just wanted to get off the grid, live differently, make their own rules. If you've ever read the excellent Travis McGee novels of John D. MacDonald, you'll remember Travis, the mystery-solving boat bum who lived on a houseboat in Miami, the Busted Flush. People used to live like that. Less and less today.
When my wife passed away a few years ago, I was living in a condo and didn't want to do that anymore. Now I'm on this piece of iron.
Bob D'azevedo, a.k.a. Captain Bob, however, is still here and still living on his boat in the Miami River.
We sit out here and we look like we're enjoying ourselves, but it's really hard work. You know, just sitting here looking pretty. It's not for everybody, so. But yeah, it's a good life.
I've had many friends over the years who live on boats, work on boats, but these were just degenerate wind addicts.
Right.
You know, this is more of a lifestyle choice for you.
It is. It's got a machine shop on board, and I kind of wanted to get down in the Bahamas and let the boat pay for itself, earn its own keep. And, of course, the economy tanked, and now I'm living on it.
The 25-ton steel-hulled Achievement doesn't do much moving around these days, but it might have to soon.
Who else lives like you?
It used to be very common.
Yeah.
It's getting scarcer.
So how long do you think you got?
6 months, a year.
Really?
That complex that's going up right there, you see all the tower cranes. We sit here and watch them put the buildings up, and they're
coming closer.
They're creeping this way.
Yeah. You're not moving on to land anytime soon, if you can avoid it.
Here, you know, life keeps flowing by. I wave and keep on keeping on.
Miami's the kind of place you say, that could never be me. And then, it is.
So you've been here how many years now?
15 years.
15 years. You're a Floridian.
Yeah.
When I was young, this man was a role model, an ideal, a roadmap for bad behavior. His music, it turned out, was the soundtrack for most of my life. Still is. James Osterberg of Muskegon, Michigan. Known still all over the world as Iggy Pop.
You grew up in Michigan. You lived in New York for a long period of time.
I went from Michigan to London. I went from London to Hollywood, which was rough. Hollywood to Berlin, which was great. Back to London. And then New York from 79 to 99.
Was it a conceivable option at any point earlier on to say, you know, I could live in Florida?
Yeah, it wasn't for me. I was hustling, hustling in a big city. It just kind of happened by chance. I had a shady friend who owned a condo here. And I thought, well, this is a nice little trashy hang. You could just pull up to the beach anytime you wanted and look out and see the end of complications. And anybody could do that, and it was safe and free. And I thought, this is beautiful.
So we're eating healthy today.
Yeah.
What do you like here?
I wouldn't have thought back then in my dorm room that all those years later I'd be eating healthy with Iggy Pop. Barbecue shrimp for the godfather of punk. I get wild and crazy with some roast pork. a little white wine our only tilt towards the debauches of previous lives.
I well remember the first Stooges album coming out, the context of the time. This was, what, 69?
69, August.
In a lot of ways, as far as looking after my health, your music early on was a negative example.
I hear you.
And looking at my own life and career, I'm pretty much known for traveling around the world and recklessly drinking and eating to excess.
Yeah, sure.
What does it say about us that we are now sitting in a healthy restaurant? I just came from the gym, and we're in Florida.
Listen, if you just flamed out, you're in such voluminous and undistinguished company, and then all your works will flame out quicker with you.
What's a perfect day in Miami?
It's a clear morning, hot and humid. No moderate or any of that crap, no, hot, humid. The sun comes up in a hazy, tropical orange orb. And you're not working, you're not out of schedule, and you have no meetings, but you have somebody fun to spend the time with. And then you would go to the beach when the sun isn't right overhead yet, because the beach faces east, the sun sparkles on the water. And the sparkle was very nice. So, positive.
You're the template for the rock star, meaning other rock stars sort of look to you to figure out, how should I behave? Along with that, look, even at its worst, even if you're broke, you're a guy who at various points in life has pretty much, one way or the other, been able to have a lot of things and ordinary people would never have. You've had many, many adventures.
I know.
Given that, what thrills you?
The nicest stuff right now is it's just very embarrassing, but it's really embarrassing. Being loved and actually appreciating the people that are giving that to me. I don't see any birds at all here today. It's so quiet.
Is this the reward phase of your life, or is it just dump luck?
It has been mostly, I think, a reward phase for stuff I did up till the age 30. Stuff you had to do on instinct, not on intelligence.
See, I think you deserve it. But when I look at my own life, you know, I'm actually, I'm ambivalent. I mean, I'm still not so sure, you know?
I'm still curious. You seem like a curious person.
It's my only virtue.
There you go. All right. Curious is a good thing to be, you know? That seems to pay some unexpected dividends.
I am the passenger, and I ride through the city backsides. I see the stars come out of the sky. So let's ride and ride and ride and ride.
And I guess that's what it comes down to. All of it. Led here. I write a book, I get a TV show, I live my dreams, I meet my hero. Two old men on a beach.
Singing la, la.